We've made it to the final race preview of 2023. Who's going to win the Cup Series championship? Let's break it down. There are 312 laps of racing or more depending on overtime restarts to decide our champion for 2023 in the Cup Series. Now remember, Byron and Larson are tied with the most wins at this track of our championship contenders. Byron's win came in the spring and Kyle Larson's came in 2021 when he won the championship that year. When looking at our driver averages, Ryan Blaney has the advantage at least of the recent averages at this track. Remember, he was super fast at this race last year. His teammate, though, took the championship and the win. We look at the overall average finishes, though, for these drivers in the championship four. That's where Kyle Larson takes the cake with an average finishing position of 11.7. If we want to look at results from last year's fall race and this year's spring race, kind of tells the tale. I think these are the best four drivers to compete for a championship this weekend because they all are top 10 contenders at Phoenix. So I think this is really exciting. If I had to pick one driver, though, that has a slight disadvantage going into this race, I would say Christopher Bell. This historically is not one of his best tracks, and if we look at qualifying speeds and what happened there, he did qualify better than Blaney, but still not as fast as he needs to be. Him and Blaney will qualify outside the top 10, while William Byron and Kyle Larson qualify within the top 10. William Byron, of course, getting the pole for this race, and that is so important with that first pit stall selection. Something I want to point out, though, is practice versus qualifying. In practice, Ryan Blaney and Christopher Bell were actually faster than Kyle Larson and William Byron, which tells me that they probably have their cars set up for more of a long run speed as opposed to Kyle Larson and William Byron. Maybe theirs isn't set up quite that way, or of course with the importance of having your efforts focused on qualifying to get that good track position and to hopefully keep it during the race, maybe that was the strategy for Hendrick Motorsports going into this one, but it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. And in case you're curious, Kevin Harvick in his final start of his NASCAR Cup Series career, he's qualified third, so he has a shot to maybe win this thing. If you follow along with the live streams that I do on the Toby Christie.com YouTube channel every Thursday night with the Above the Yellow Line crew, you know that we have a race-winning pick kind of thing going on here, and they're all random race-winning picks. We made a bet, or yes, we made a deal, I should say, that going into this championship race, that our race-winning pick could not be any of the championship four, kind of to level the playing field a little bit. I gotta say, my pick of Joey Logano, I'm not very confident on. He qualified pretty poorly, practice speeds, it wasn't there. I was expecting him to kind of pick up where he left off last year, having a lot of speed. Penske as a whole qualified poorly, so I'm kind of nervous. As for my championship pick, this weekend is kind of giving me Kyle Larson vibes. I feel like he's going to be the best of the rest because we've also seen this weekend too, like the pole winner isn't always going to win this race. The fastest of the championship contenders in practice or qualifying isn't always going to win this race. We've already seen Ben Rhodes get his second championship this weekend in the Truck Series. I think Kyle Larson is going to get his second championship in the Cup Series this weekend. However, I also am thinking that maybe Ryan Blaney has something for the championship. He's arguably, or was, the favorite going into this weekend. I think William Byron, the most consistent driver this season, has something for the championship too, qualifying on the pole. I think that Christopher Bell could surprise us and win the championship as well, because with what we're seeing with this weekend, it's not always the favorite going into this weekend that's going to win the championship race. So everything's up in the air. I have no clue what's going to happen, but I am excited to see us crown a 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion. Who do you think it's going to be? Let me know in the comments below.